we're going to. Oh my God, where did he go? How did Keith? So y'all, Keith just got blocked out. He's coming back. But we have a ongoing current live issue. There you are.
I'm back up.
You're back up and running. Yes, you are, my friend. All right. We got it streaming across multiple platforms. Everybody, this is currently happening live in Sacramento, California. Keith, what's going on that way?
So I'm in Sacramento. I was actually on the way to going over to the office today. I'm going to try to flip this camera around for you right now.
This is currently happening live in Sacramento, California. Keith, what's going on?
So this is currently at a homeless encampment within Sacramento, California, that the police and law enforcement have entered today to clear it out, and they're clearing everyone out here. Unfortunately, a lot of the members that are here have access and functional needs, and there are people that are part of our population, our most vulnerable population, that have not had the funds necessary to provide to them to move their actual items, to move their trucks, to move any of their vehicles, their trailers, or any of their housing to another location, or to find housing for themselves. And as you can see, there's not that many people that have showed up today. And then as we think about it, in communities, when there's a disaster action. We have our teams that are going out there, right? Then we have a multi-agency resource center. We have a disaster recovery center. We have something that's actually happening. And if you can see the response today, there's not that many community organizations that are showing up. And again, we cannot just break the walls of someone's home and say, okay, you have to go, without having these solutions in place, without having these conversations. And again, this is where we're at right now. There should be a lot more agencies that are showing up. And unfortunately, this is what we're left with.
This is seriously like, so what I want to touch on what you just said is they're breaking down the walls of people's homes. And that is a major issue, because a lot of people don't look at this as these people's homes. What organizations are you seeing? What organizations are you seeing present?
I'm not sure of the exact names. I did get some contact information from a few members of the community here. But again, there's not many organizations that have showed up today to support the community members. And that's something that we need to think about it. Many people could just drive by and just think, hey, this doesn't bother me, this doesn't affect me. But most people in America are 2 weeks away from being in the same exact situation that this community was in.
True story.
So what's going to happen when they lose their job, or what happens when AI takes over, even though AI is not taking over? But what could happen is that they can wind out here too as well. And then what are they going to expect? They're going to expect the same exact results, because again, community members are not banding together. They're not acting as a community. And there's only a few organizations that are actually showing up to support. There's more local county organizations or state or law enforcement or response agencies than actual, that are here to work on this actual event itself, rather than people that are coming here to help pull people up and lift people up and provide them with hope that everything's going to be okay. And again, just like in a sheltering situation in disasters, the last people that are left to go are the community members that have access and functional needs. So what's happening here? It's the same exact thing. It's the same movie that we're playing over and over again, based upon the lack of collaboration out there in the community.
This is like something that I don't we need to be, when we're doing this type of thing, they need to be going in with the plan. There needs to be multiple resources. There needs to be multiple, like, what are the alternative options for these people at this exact moment?
I mean, there's not many. It's the same thing. The issue is it's the same exact people that have been running these organizations for years after year, and they just don't have it. At some point, people need to give up what they're doing. They need to walk over and find a new career, a new position, and let somebody else play, right? Because many people have been so jaded and they can't even get past themselves. That's all they keep looking at are the issues that are there. They're unable to remove the barriers that exist in the community based upon their title that they're in, their ego, their insecurities. And this is what happens.
This
There's a
is
complete
this is
there's a
horrible.
complete breakdown within the community based upon all of the organizations that are out there that are not here today because they haven't, I don't know what they've done. I mean, what have they really done if they're not here
So what's
today?
going to happen? We're going to remove these people from this location, and they're going to go find another location that they're going to build the encampment to come and do it again. This is a vicious cycle that is repeating with no true resolution.
Nope. Unfortunately, this is the case, and until organizations could actually band together instead of just trying to fly their flag up in the sky and take care of their budget streams, they need to worry about coming together with unity of mission and truly supporting the community.
I can't wait to get to California. I can't. This is, I mean, we deal with it here where I live as well, but this is like a whole new level
You
of
should
raiding
see
and encampment.
see if you can get Marsha to come on live.
I did. I've sent her the link. I'm just kind of waiting, to hear back from her.
All right, again, this is something that's going to continue to happen. I mean, again, there's an initiative from the government based upon the ruling that took place about encampments, but at the same exact time, there needs to be the proper people in place. So, for instance, if there's a disaster that's occurring in a community, the shelters are not getting shut down until there's a shelter resident transition team that's going in there. They're doing it, they're completing an assessment on the members that are there, finding out more information about them to see what their roadblocks are to get them to where they need to be. So that's what should be happening prior to any of this. There should be an assessment with each of the members as they're coming out and then getting them to where they need to be instead of just throwing them out. There needs to be dignity, and there's a lack of dignity that's actually going on here when there's more law enforcement agencies here than actual community support agencies.
They and that's the thing. Like, you don't know what situation put them to where they're at today. You don't know what put them into needing to reside in the encampment. So how do you think that you're going to come in, tell them to pack their stuff, get out, and you don't even know what resources they need to try to get out here and be a contributing member?
No, I agree. That's the issue. There needs to be proper communication, but the lines of communication broke down a long time ago. And then if you're just going to let it exist, it's just like any relationship. If you stop communicating, it's going to fail. But what they need to do is they need to get outside parties in here that are going to actually get in here and be able to listen, to show up and listen and not just show up acting like they're the subject matter expert and they can save the day. Too many organizations have people working for them like that, where they're going to show up and they think I can solve any situation. The issue is that they cannot do that.
I'm messaging Martha right now, but
I
this
see
is
there's a
just,
fire in the background.
this is crazy.
Aw, look at the pup.
How many people would you say are being, I guess we could say, evicted right now? How many
I'm
people
not.
are about to be?
I'm not sure. I heard before that there was like 45 or so people that were still in there. Or Jagan, let's go. I'm not sure. I can't speak on behalf of other people. If this isn't a clear sign to see that there's actual breakdown in communication, that the nonprofit organizations need to band together, all the community organizations, this is crazy.
Like, what I don't, did they put up that police tape? Like, are they not letting you in?
I don't think, I haven't asked. I don't think we can know that we're not supposed to be past this point.
But isn't that, I mean, basically your media right now? Like, there's no way that they can be trying to censor you from allowing us to see what's happening.
Everyone's behind this line, all the other media agencies. There's Fox 40.
I feel like this is censorship. Like, they can't, why do they not want us to understand and know? Like, we want to fix it. We want to contribute positively. They should be including everybody in this.
No, I agree. Is my camera still, can you see my camera or no? It's still aligned.
Yeah, I see you. We got Marcello. He came in here. So you just came off of the camera. Yeah, Marcello, I'm about to send you the link. You are, please join us on the stage. Like, definitely. I just sent you, Marcello, the link in your DM. If you go into your DM, it's the link to come on stage with us if you're able. This is so, I don't understand how this is happening. He'll be right back, you guys, the connection issues. So currently what's going on, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to send a news link onto this as well. So we have the Sacramento Police Department as well as the fire department out at a homeless camp. They have no resources from nonprofit local organizations. Very limited. I'm not going to say none are there. Keith did say that there's some there. Keith is back.
Yeah, there are some community organizations that are here,
but there's not right now, near what should be.
But if you look at, like, when we're responding to a disaster response, right? We have a multi-agency resource center. We have a disaster recovery center. We have something. We have community members that are coming together, but nobody is coming together here today. This is when the people need them the most. Where are the mobile units that everyone is spending money on, all the donors' dollars that are out there to support people in need? I'm just curious.
Where all the stuff that we have provided in this camp that have kept people sustaining for 2 years. We've done 2 years, 500 community groups coming here, and we've kept it sustaining, medical teams, all this different stuff. So again, this is for 48 residents.
I'm actually live right now. So what?
48.
Yeah, please tell us.
44 of them are disabled.
Michelle, let me. Her name is Michelle.
Hi.
Hi. Please tell us what's happening. I'm currently based in Ohio. We have people worldwide watching right now, and we want to understand what is happening.
So this is what's called Camp Resolution. This is a camp that was a self-governed camp that we won in a struggle. We took the land back after they spent $125 million recycling people back and forth, promising them this space to be a safe parking, and then scrapping the idea. We have denounced this from the get-go that it would go to administrators, consultants. What's happening right now in this situation is Camp Resolution became a self-sustaining encampment. Over 500 community members, food service, medical, mental health. We were getting people triaged into their housing. We've housed 16 people out of here. Just getting them through all of the services until housing became available. We made national news because we won a contract, which was that these people were third-party beneficiaries and that they were guaranteed the right to housing, which it doesn't exist. We've been going through court. You may want to talk to our attorneys, but we've been going through court. The nonprofit pulled their part of the lease. We had 25 days to figure this out. We have, again, 44 of 48 residents that were currently here at this time have disabilities, major disabilities. We have a lady on oxygen. I had to transport out of here and take to a hotel. She's in a wheelchair, can't breathe. Like her oxygen was dying as we were pulling out of here. That's the only thing she could bring was her generator, her oxygen, and her wheelchair. Again, what's important with this is that we filed 30 disability accommodations. There's a policy through every city under the federal government. They have to have accommodations, right? And so we filed 30 of them. The city didn't. They blanketed it and they said we're not accepting this, okay? Then Disability Rights of California got involved and wrote a letter saying this is safer than the internment camps that they have over on Roseville Road. I suggest you go check it out. It literally is barbed wire, no power. The only like water sources from a hose, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. No ADA accommodations. We've been trying to go through court to stop this from being swept, but ultimately the city came in here, even though we have a court hearing on Friday, came in here and violently, brutally took all of their stuff. They're taking their stuff out of here right now, removing their trailers, family heirlooms. Again, this is people's homes. Like, this is people's real life. We have, between the disabilities and chronic illness, it's a death sentence to remove these people. The Roseville Road, which is the internment camp they're trying to send everybody to, they don't allow them to take their generators. So people like Betty, who are on oxygen, or me, or Vinay over here, these people that have disabilities can't survive in this place. Vinay actually went over there and is staying there right now. So you may want to talk to her about the conditions, but...
Before we go, can I ask you...
How do people get in contact with you? Like, I mean, if anybody wants to provide support to the community.
Well, how do we get in contact with you? But also, if you can tell us, what can we do to support you right now? Is there a GoFundMe?
Right now,
Is
there's definitely... They didn't have time to take anything, right? We are trying to put people in hotels. They've given them nothing. There's no resources out here for these people. So we got people, you'll see them, they're sitting drive down the street, you'll see them, they're all down the street right now with what they can take. What we're doing is we really want community awareness. Camp Resolution started as a protest camp to say, we want housing, we don't need all this third party, you're paying millions of dollars to all these contractors to do what, right? You're not housing people, you're just keeping people on the street. We did a PRA for homelessness around county benefits. 50,000 people in Sacramento claim to be homeless. 50,000 people. And so again, we really want to lift awareness in every way that we possibly can. When it comes to immediate needs, financially, we are trying to collect funds from our community. Again, everything's been community.
Do you have a GoFundMe page or anything like that, or any type?
We have Venmo and PayPal.
What's your Venmo, or what's the?
I don't know.
We'll get back to you on that one, though. But yeah,
make sure you get us this information. Make sure you
what's your website?
So we do have a website. It's sacramentohomelessunion.org. And we're on all social media. If you look up Sacramento Homeless Union, you'll see all of our donations, live streaming, things that have been going on here. But again, this isn't for publicity. This is people's lives. We're paying, I don't know how many cops right here to harass and to arrest individuals who are experiencing homelessness, to dump them back to the street. And this is an empty parking lot. They spent $739,000 to put a fence around it and pave half of it. And it was supposed to be a safe spot, and then they scrapped the idea, so we took it over.
Do we know whose idea this was today? Do you guys have any inkling whose idea it was today to come in and do this, with knowing that you have a court hearing in just 4 days?
Right. The city has been non-compliant with conversations with us. Like I said, we have 2 attorneys here, one that's been inside, one that's on the outside. We've been trying to come to the city and have conversations. They've completely ignored us. They do not want this, because what this type of work does, this grassroots type of work does, is it shows we don't need our local governments to survive, to sustain, to create a sustainable situation. We were bringing in solar panels, like we were doing this right? And so at the end of the day, this cost $3,900 to the city to take out some trash, which we really didn't even need them to do that, but we said, okay, go ahead. $3,900 for 60 people when we originally started, versus the $3.3 million for the internment camp on Roseville Road. It does not house people. So,
Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate.
She's in there if you want to talk to her. She's in the Roseville Road.
Right now I have animals in a truck. I can't even move the truck because I have no gas.
So what's your name again?
My name is Vinay Carter.
Vinay, my name is Keith. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm from a nonprofit called Adaptive Strategies Group. We're just out here trying to understand more about what are the needs within the local, population with all of your community members. So
what can we do to help you?
What can you do to help me? I have animals right now in a truck I cannot even drive because I have no gas. They're sitting basically.
You need gas money?
Yes.
Okay. Well we can.
So we'll get you some gas money.
We'll get some gas money.
Okay.
What else can we do? Do you have pet food?
I'm at the Roseville facility. I can have one animal. My boyfriend, we're separating because he's going to take the rest of the animals.
So, okay.
And I'm not even allowed to have family members visit me. I mean, there's no heat, no air. It's
Okay.
just, it's awful. I have asthma. I can't breathe anymore.
Well, we're definitely going to follow up with this whole situation. And Michelle, we'll be right back with you in a moment.
Yeah, give me the Venmos, the Cash Apps, and write down the names, please. So everybody that's joining in, right now, Keith was leaving where he lives and driving into Sacramento to go into the office. And as he was coming into town, we were on the phone, and he said, I think that the police are going into a homeless encampment. So he pulled off, parked safe, got out, and we are now live, because what we have come to find out is that Camp Resolution in Sacramento, California right now is completely being dismantled. There is a lack of communication between the organizations on site versus the reality of what's really happening. There is a court hearing, we were told, on Friday, but they're still doing what they're doing today. So we have Keith back on live.
Yeah, we made sure we can get her to where she needs to go to make sure that puppies are good. So she's on her way right now. Just told her, we'll be in contact. We are going to follow up on this. This is something that it's not just for us. It's not a buzzword. This is the reality about what we do within Adaptive Strategies Group, within DRS. It's about actually showing up in the community. And it's not just about waving your flag up to say, yes, I did something. Look at my action item. This is about actually getting results. It's time to remove the Band-Aids. The Band-Aids are what got us to this point today.
We need to go to the wound. We need to heal the wound.
Well,
and then that's what I was just explaining to him. You and I was on a business call. You pulled in and seen it and had to pull off to go investigate. Like, we didn't even know that this was what was happening.
The issue is that most people in America, they keep driving by and they pretend like it doesn't exist. They create a narrative. They tell their children a pleasant story instead of the reality. But how good would it be if we can come back to this moment in time and to say to our children, at one point in time, this was a homeless encampment, but now everybody is thriving. They're in this apartment complex. They're somewhere else and they're doing better.
They have homes, they have secure jobs, they have resources. We need to be collaborating. We need to be coming together. You have all these organizations nationwide, and yet you have a limited handful of support there that the legal enforcement isn't even listening.
Well, I mean, luckily too, you got the Sacramento SPCA, which is doing an amazing job. They're boots on the ground. You got some really good, organizations that are in there helping, but there needs to be so much more. Again, you have multiple rigs in here that are clearing out this whole entire lot. As we just heard, this was costing for the garbage removal, I guess, I don't know if it was today or in the past, like close to $4,000. That's not a lot when you look at this actual facility itself and you see about how big it is. But it's removing.
Yeah, they brought in solar panels, generators. People were helping to get them the resources and to get out of this situation. And it's like they're coming in right now and destroying that. So right there is somebody's home.
Yep.
That's the reality of what we're watching, people. If you are watching this live stream right now, that van is somebody's home and it's being took away. We're told that over 50 of these individuals have disabilities that they don't even know what to do, where to go. The resources that they need to try to help them stay alive through the disability that they're battling isn't even being made available or presented with options to secure.
I know I keep asking, do you see my full camera or do you just see a line?
No, I see down the road, You see some people walking across the street. There's some people on the right, left. This is craziness.
There's something I need to restart. My camera's not showing.
Okay, you can restart. I'll be here. So I just shared everybody the newspaper article. Well, I don't know if it's in the newspaper. It's definitely in the news article, and it's by the News Channel 3 out there, the KCRA, and they are actually live on scene as well. And what they're saying is that dozens of the Sacramento police officers and fire crews are clearing this is so heartbreaking, and this is just the tension. I can only imagine the tension, like what the people that live here are feeling. Like this has got to be so just. They're vulnerable as is, but now they're like being violated.
But that's how it always is, though. The issue is within the community itself. Doesn't matter what position that people are in. After a period of time, they get jaded. So if you're in, doesn't matter if you're you're attending to their medical needs, you're attending to the needs of the community and securing the community. After a while, when the same exact story repeats itself over and over and over again, you're believing that this is going to be the life cycle. But they're not coming in there with positive solutions. They're putting Band-Aids on it or just dealing with it temporarily for that moment in time. There hasn't been any real constructive strategic planning that's actually taken place to lead them past this point. This isn't strategic planning. Strategic planning as in an operation to dismantle, yes, definitely. Great operation, great incident command system, perfect. But when it comes down to it, there should be more community organizations that are here to lift the members up and to get them on their path forward.
Like, what is it that, even just to be sitting here right now, and the way that you and I do our think tanks and our collaborating, like right now, we could literally come up with an idea. Like, what would be the basic core organizations we would bring in to begin a process like this? Obviously, you're going to need somebody with housing support, job support, medical support.
The issue is that, the perception of the community. Okay, so you have community organizations active in disaster. You have volunteer organizations active in disaster. You have community organizations that are out there too as well, that are not with disaster too as well. But all of these members need to understand that this is a disaster. So if there was a flood here, you would see so many people all over the place out there helping out. There would be gift cards and everything else that you can possibly think of, blankets, food, flood buckets, whatever it is, whatever the needs are. But when it comes to the actual needs, the systemic issues that we have within our community, this isn't a quick Band-Aid that people can actually put on the situation to move forward. People are looking for instant gratification. And the programs that are out there in the community, if you're really out there and you really want to support and you hear my voice and you're in the California area, come down. If you're not in the California area, get in contact. Make a difference. Just do something. You don't have to do everything, but you need to show up and do something.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people think that it has to involve thousands of dollars, or it's not. People locally could be going through their house spring cleaning, bring down donations. They're losing everything right now.
Well, no, yeah, that's all. No, we don't. None of that is good.
Not now, but I'm just saying there's things that can be done non-financial.
Well, that could only be done in coordination with someone that's actually handling it. So that's not in any disaster, including something like homelessness. You don't want to just go and bring items to a random place, because then they don't have a place to actually bring them. And the disaster of doing like donation management becomes into a disaster itself. So it's always good to get the funding into the right community-based organizations that are out there in the community instead of showing up with actual items. Same thing
What is
within it.
stuff somebody could do that they don't have the financial capability, but they want to
Volunteer,
help?
volunteer with a local organization, show up, support people, be that advocate for them, be that voice for them. People need someone to talk to, just like in a disaster situation. 2 days after a disaster occurs, there's going to be members that are calling them up from support teams that are going to work with them on their recovery plan for the next 30 days. There needs to be consultations like that. There needs to be empowerment of local nonprofit organizations. And what I can tell people right now is they should go to idealist.org. They should go to volunteer.match and find a way to get engaged in your community. So even if you're outside of Sacramento, which I'm sure you are if you're watching us right now live, get involved, do something, because this could be your community too as well. And then you're going to sit back, you're going to walk by, and you're going to be like, man, I wish I could have did something. And you could have. That money that you're spending on your fancy coffee drink and whatever else you're doing, that's not helping your community. Get there, do something. If you're raising your kids, maybe if you want to take your kids out and say, hey, listen, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to go volunteer. We're going to support our community because I want to make sure that other members of our community are lifted up, just like I would like for them to lift you up.
Now, I'm going to be sharing those links. You said idealist.org.
Yeah, if you go to Idealist and also volunteer.match, where people can find across the country, they can find local opportunities where they can get involved to volunteer to support local agencies that are doing so many different types of mission. Maybe you're not passionate about the unhoused population. Maybe you're passionate about something else. You're going to find your passion on one of those sites, and you find yourself in service to others. The issue is so many people are stuck behind their title, their insecurities, their ego, that they want to keep driving by because they think that they're better than other people. And I promise you that's not the case. It takes one misstep. It takes one person to buy your company that you're at right now and to tell you you have no job anymore. Again, most Americans are 2 weeks away from being on the streets themselves. So why don't we actually just think about that for a moment instead of just sitting back and passing judgment on other people in our community? Because you don't know anyone else's story. You can't sit back there with all your biases that you may have and think you understand it, and you could think you're a subject matter expert, and God forbid, I promise you, you're not. You're not a subject matter expert. You may know a particular situation, just like in disasters. If you've been at one disaster response, you've been at one disaster response.
True.
You can't think that you understand every single aspect.
How long has this, do you know what time this started?
I think when I sent you the article, it said 3 hours. I'm not sure now at this point. So it could be 4 or 5 hours. I'm not sure.
And they're not even near done, are they? Like they're still just.
No, this is a huge facility again. But what we're thinking about is the people. So this is the one thing right now. Again, everybody is attracted to that shiny object, to that diamond, right? But what happens is after this actually passes, all the people, it's just like almost like somebody wins the World Series, right? People are passionate. They're like, oh my God, you won the World Series. A week later, that jersey's put away. The same thing happens with a disaster or any other type of thing that's going to happen within the community. It's going to be sexy right now. If it bleeds, it leads. That's how the media thinks about it. This is sexy right now. This is provocative. But the second that this is over, they go back to the next story.
Yeah,
the issue is people need to continue on, and they need to want to actually do this. It's not about just doing your story for the night. It's about continuing. It's having more dollars out there in the community for public service announcements and talking about this. It's like, I don't know. It's like we wait until moments like this because, again, this is going to make the news. This is going to be everywhere. This is great. But this isn't the reality. The community is not, I don't even know. I don't even want to get into it because, again, coming from the D.C. market, I understand exactly how that whole entire thing works.
Well, we're being joined by Emilio here on stage, and Emilio's in Texas. So Emilio,
we're now in Texas. Where are we? In Texas and where else?
We got Texas, we got Ohio, we got California, we got streaming worldwide right now.
Texas, Ohio, California.
Right. Emilio, what do you think about what's happening right now?
What's up, hermano?
Mi hermano, I mean, and you tell me on what part do you want me to speak on that in life?
Man, what do we need to do, man? You're in Texas right now, right? How do we stand up for the community, for people that are in Dallas too as well, that are going through similar circumstances, man? Like, we need to step our game up. It can't just be about people coming out and they're showing up when there's something like this that's occurring. Where's everyone else every other day? And why are there only just a few organizations, a few tents Like there's no mobile vans over here. There's no resources. There's nothing here. Like I
You
don't
know, that
understand it.
one thing that I can personally, profoundly reveal to y'all, share with y'all, and you take it and see what you think of it. But in reality, there's a lot of programs, there's a lot of assistance, but virtually there is no assistance when it comes to really someone in particular, because there's housing units. There's a project right now that says that the city is giving the residents a break on their taxes and they paying so much, but you got to qualify. They got house repairman, revitalization, however they word it, and it's like I called them and told them now y'all accepting applications. So I'm trying to have my some of my community that are in dire need. I'm trying to help them with the application, but then their questionnaire has to do with everything that they don't have, which you got to have your deed to the house, got to be to your name. You got to have taxes owed. If you're on payments, then you're good. But then the next step is you can't be
Yeah.
having those city citations. The thing is that in my community, is not to say that our people are lazy, but some are elders, some are even military veterans. Still,
And that's
they've
the whole
been lost.
Emilio, and that's the whole thing that they just spoke about. That there was over 49 members of the community. The same thing that happens if there's any type of disaster that occurs locally. The last people that are left in the shelter are those that are impacted by access and functional needs. That's when you go in there, and then it takes time. It's not just a process where you break through and conquer. You get in there, you talk to people, you have those bedside conversations inside of a shelter. They call it cot to cot, right? So you're gonna have the shelter resident team that would go in there. They would do an assessment to understand what roadblocks are out there for the community members. After that, then the team would come together, work with other nonprofits, and find out exactly what type of path do they have moving forward, and make sure that they have the proper transportation. Make sure there's other community organizations or all of those companies that are out there that are saying that they're so into the community, they support the community. Okay, that's fine. So where are the gas cards for the people that needed gas to get their vehicles out of here? This could have gone so differently if this was actually the proper amount of collaboration that occurred. And to think about, like, to just watch this, like, I've been a part of national disasters before where people have lost everything, where buildings have been leveled, where just everything. And it's amazing to see this type of collaboration. There's nothing. I mean, like, this is I'm at a loss for words, Emilio. For me to be at
And
a
no,
loss for words, I mean, this is a
th-
tough pill to swallow, that this is where it's at right now.
and this is the thing, that one thing that I take to light when someone is, let's say, uh, doing fraud. Let's say they're selling drugs, or they're saying anybody that's doing anything that has to do with being an outlaw, and they say this quote, walking on a thin line. We too, unfortunately, we can we are walking on a fine line, because we trying to help the community. We really have humanitarian hearts, that we trying to make sure that we have assistance for the people that don't have assistance, that don't have nobody. But if we so happen to upset one of the one of the people that is in power, that's in a situation where he can deem the rock on us, one has to understand that, like, we don't
No,
want that is
it,
that's the thing.
so when you're getting into situations like this in the community, it's all about diplomacy. It's all about showing up to the table as a facilitative leader. It's not saying, "Hey, I have all the answers for you." It's saying, "Hey, how can I help you? How can I best support you?" Sitting back, actively listening, and then going from there and formulating a strategic plan together, instead of multiple organizations just showing up together and having their own plan, their own mission, instead of having the proper case management. And when you're getting down to the systemic issue of the unhoused populations, it's because of the lack of collaboration that exists. It's because of the brutal fight for the funding streams that are out there, that everyone is competing and competing and competing. Again, collaboration instead of competition. Collaboration instead of competition.
Keith,
That is just, I see that
Keith,
we
I
have
just want to
somebody
let you
else.
know we're being
Is that
yeah,
Mike?
we're being joined on stage by Mike. It is. We got the hounds of business in the
Hey,
house, and
Mike,
I am
how you doing?
so thankful that you
I
came
was about to take off, but when it's Keith or Mike speaking, I'd rather be quiet and listening, because I learn more By quiet, then speaking. Go ahead,
You're
Mike. How
good.
you
I'm
doing?
coming this way.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
coming.
Mike, take it.
Well, if I get off mute, I'm good. Thank you. Michelle said come here. I don't even know what it was. I just jumped on it. And Emilio, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, hey, it's good to see you again.
Hey,
So,
it's good.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
So, Mike,
It's good to
what's
see you too, brother.
happening is Keith was driving into town. Keith was driving into the office and happened to see that they are in there destroying the homeless encampment.
oh, no, you're kidding.
Yep.
Nope. So that's what we're live right now. That's what we're addressing. What we need to do as a community to collaborate. So you take it, Mike. This is all on you. What, like, the hounds of business. I think this is an amazing area we can focus.
Yeah, most folks don't know this. And I appreciate it. I ran a nonprofit for 3 years. It was established, it was helping with food, financial assistance, rent. And the city out here, they had done the same thing. They just started kind of, they tried to put flyers out, but where are they going to go? And so, um, man, it breaks my heart. That was one of the things that we were looking to do was find real solutions, not just pushing people off the side, like the
Yep.
street sweepers, and
Plenty of
really try to
band-aids out there.
find solutions for folks. So, man, I don't have the answers, but at least you're bringing awareness to it, and spotlighting hopefully local nonprofits that can raise funds to do something about it, because it's heartbreaking. And any one of us could be in that position. Any one of us. I mean, seriously, you hear Jackie talk about it. We could be in jail. We could be homeless. Don't think it can't happen to you. So I don't have the answers, but
Keith just said we're 2
try to
weeks
put
away
some.
from it.
But that's not everybody. That's a large percentage of the population, especially the members of the community that are working in their, the quote unquote, I would say, like, blue collar jobs, right? Not the people that have, that are having this, like, the larger salaries. Again, when those businesses wind up closing up, they could be 2 weeks away from actually being in the same exact situation. And then at that point in time, maybe they're going to actually open their eyes and see how they can actually support.
The one thing that I like to point out is that you know to have a system and have really this cause embraced, we must have in consideration what is the outlook of our cause. Many people can say, you know what, they're homeless because they want to be homeless. They're lazy. They're drug addicts. They're alcoholics. Whatever it is. Let me just say this on on a better light. There is trees that unearthed on the tornado that were very close to either cause casualties or cause a family of 7 children homeless, because the city's not going to tolerate for them to be living in a residence where there's no electricity, where it is not livable. So I just want to put that in perspective for anybody that is just saying, well, if they had a good cause, we would help. Well, you don't know if it's a good cause because you ain't lived or is experiencing being homeless. My friend Gilberto's house burnt down and he became homeless thanks to the Red Cross, gave him an $800 voucher. But after that, investors were after his house and they got him out. So the city had already came to his house and told him that you got so much time to make sure you bring this property back up to back up to quote. So there's many ways that you can become homeless. It ain't just the conventional r- belief that brings you to be homeless, because not every homeless is just what one might think. For those that think real negative and are very rehearsed but are willing to help, it's just something that you will never know unless you really touch your heart and just consider knowing more in many aspects, and you will realize that some people do need help. And the homeless, sometimes they just need a little bit of assistance. And I'll tell you one prime example. The individual that invented that beautiful pillow was homeless, was a drug addict, and he became an inventor. And I don't remember his name on top of my head, but he is a multi-billionaire now of something that he invents. So we can't ever underestimate a beautiful mind simply because it's been dragged in a different way that we don't condone. That's what I wanted to share.
Well, thank you, Emilio. We appreciate it. And again, we need to have diversity of ideas where people could come together and to not shoot other people's ideas down, because you never know what the next person could actually say. Their idea may be the one that actually works. If we keep listening to the same people that have been in charge for all of these years, and they look at their internal metrics instead of looking at the external metrics from a different lens to see how well are they truly doing, how well, like, has there been a change in terms of like the social services and to the reliancy upon the community members of their need? Who knows?
Mhm.
So you got animal
Yeah,
control here, you have Sacramento SPCA, some great organizations that are helping. Of course, like you were mentioning before, sorry, of course, that you were mentioning before, that the many members that are in the unhoused population, of course, are dealing with other things too as well. That could have either started prior or it could be after they actually became unhoused. But if you're dealing with people that have not had the proper support, there could be some extenuating circumstances where you need to have the right service providers that are licensed and able to provide support. It's just unfortunate again today. So if you're showing up over here, there's plenty of people that are here to go deal with the situation in terms of disbanding the homeless encampment, but they're not here in terms of the way that they need to be to help, especially when you have an access and functional needs population, as was mentioned, that was over 49 members, and you have people that are medically vulnerable that needed oxygen or needed generators, and they're going to be sent to a facility that is in not great condition whatsoever, as was mentioned. So why not keep them in this current situation?
Oh, I think that we lost Keith here. So Mike, bringing us back on. He'll be back. He has been a little bit choppy, but that's why I brought you on. Definitely Keith and I, as well as Dr. CJ, like we've been talking about like a poverty empowerment type project, and this just highlights it. And obviously, like one thing I've learned and one thing you fully vocalize is we can't do it alone. If you think that you're going to come in and you're going to fix it alone, like you're crazy. And I've learned we need as many hands in the pot as we can get. Are you muted, Mike? Okay.
No, actually, this time I'm imagine that. Yeah, I'm having trouble hearing on the background. But
You and Keith are speechless.
I had a call
well,
that
first
came
of
in, that's why.
oh, is Keith back?
Yeah, but you can talk, Mike. He had a call come in.
Okay. Again, I don't have all the answers. I've ran a nonprofit for 3 years, food and financial assistance. I miss it. I miss it, especially when seeing things like this. But you're right. It's going to take, the silver lining of COVID, as bad as it was, and as many people as we lost through that. The silver lining is you see people from grassroots, just regular ass people, just getting up, doing stuff, and saying that enough's enough. They do it in education, they're doing it in healthcare, they're doing it in social justice and equality issues. And hey, I'm glad to see it continue. It's not dying off. It's actually growing since the last 4 or 5 years. So you're absolutely right. The question to ask, and these take bold, excuse me, these take bold initiatives, and it takes a lot of people coming together and dropping the ego, as I heard him say. But going to other organizations saying, how can we share resources? How can we write joint grants? How can we do more with less together? How can we amplify not just the fundraising, but the services? How can we bring in and become the value to communities? How can we publicize and promote and give publicity through our events and our what we do as organizations to funders, right? To companies that want to see it as well. Because when there's more people that can buy the stuff they're trying to sell, it makes sense. So these are the things that I was leading right before COVID. And I'm glad to see people doing something about it. Bringing awareness starts there. But also saying, hey, we're going to do this, and just put your banner out there. Some people don't want to play. There's lots of egos involved in the nonprofit, but going out there and saying, "Hey, we're willing to do this. Who's going to join me?" Man, crazier things have happened. Right, the hounds happen that way, just doing stuff, not knowing what the hell we're doing.
Right.
But this can get a lot of people involved, and so hopefully somebody, you guys seem to be playing the spider in the web, and that's what it takes. And again, don't have all the answers. You just have to have the passion to start. And it's heartbreaking. I love seeing people do something.
I'm
I
gonna
believe
wait,
like
guys.
closed mouths don't get fed. So we have
Yeah.
to do something.
So
All right, Keith, take it over. What did you want to say?
Now I have a local member here that's been just helping out and supporting over here. Just wanted to ask him some questions, and let me take you off my ears, actually. If I can, I know I'm smart enough for this part, maybe, potentially. Hold on 1 second. Actually, let me just change the audio. Can you hear me?
For everybody tuning in, we have Keith in Sacramento, California, and he is at the camp resolution getting ready to speak with somebody that is firsthand there going through. He's just setting up.
So,
Here we go.
yeah.
Keith, we're giving it over to you.
Sir, what's your name?
Mark.
Mark? So, Mark, could you tell us about your feeling on today, about what's happening by? Like, did you just drive by today and you saw this was occurring, or you knew it was going to happen?
I knew ahead of time.
Got it. So, do you know members that live here in the encampment? Some members?
Pet owners.
Pet owners, okay. So of course, I see there's a lot of pets that are here right now, and then you're wanting to provide the best support to everyone, right? It's like our fur babies too as well. They're our family members too, right?
It's that pet that could be keeping them going, motivated, getting up, knowing that they have to take care of that, get their coat.
One second.
This is that live, unfiltered right here.
All right. Are we back? Hello?
You are solo staged. You are ready to go.
Okay. Do you see you should see the camera, you see the gentleman? You see Mark?
Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
we see him.
Okay, great. So again, Mark has been here. I saw him over here that he was looking, talking to some of the members in the communities that did have pets over here. And it's just so important that we're thinking about all the community members that are impacted, that it's not just about the actual humans itself, it's about the fur babies that are there too. So there should be multiple support agencies. And I did see that, animal control, of course, was here. So what have you seen in the period of time, as we were just talking about, and how has it changed within the years for members of the community that have been unhoused?
Well, it appears just to keep getting worse and worse. I don't know where the answer lies or the solution, but it just seems to be gradually picking up momentum, going upward.
Did you think that there used to be more community collaboration with more agencies that were coming out to provide support?
Yes.
I mean, wouldn't you have expected more people to actually come out today if they knew that this was going to occur?
Correct. But it's all about the money.
It's tough to see this when you see the impact, especially with the amount of people that are having access and functional needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to have the right support and show up for them in a
Correct.
way that we're going to meet them where they're at.
Right. Providing, because we have the means, the resource, the money. It's all about the money. And you just follow the money. And yeah, so and it's election times, so it's political though too. There's this need, and there's hardly anything there. I can't. The richest country in the world, well, one of them probably. Man, look how it's gotten. The last time I saw something like this same kind of extraction, a disassembling a homeless campground, and Crystal was there, right over there. Crystal, she's been here since the beginning. Was back in 2019, a year before the pandemic, and there was a camp just like this, self-governed. Everybody got along. It was close by the businesses where they could get food and water and their simple little needs. There was practically no violence because they didn't tolerate it. This is our last home. It's the last home on the block. So let's respect it. But the caught up was between the city and the county and the Sacramento Housing Development Agency. And they wanted it back, and they took it, So, but this, I mean, my God, they were here 2 years, and they were saying there's water or some kind of contamination under the soil, the ground, and that and everything. Well, it's just really strange that they would say this now, come out with that kind of statement or claim. They claim.
Well,
This is
well, I definitely appreciate you being here with us and all that you're doing.
I
Just
appreciate what you're doing.
sometimes it's just that voice. It's just that one conversation that could change everything, especially in someone's day. You never know what someone else is going through until you actually ask that question.
Yes,
Until you just show up for them, right?
Right. It was
And
like I said recently. I just came back from you and Lassen by Chico, and it's sad that the community.
Yeah, the fire started
comes
4.5
together.
miles from my house. So yeah.
Oh God, yeah. So okay, and the people come together to help one another and everything like that. There was love there. There was sharing. There was compassion, empathy, and everything like that. But here it's like, where do they go? Where do they go? Now we're talking of different age brackets here too.
I believe exactly what you had said, mentioning when it comes to a disaster, that's a time when you're going to have chief development officers that are going to be out there. They're going to have metrics to fill for their other agencies. And when it comes time for disasters like this, disasters in terms of homelessness, this isn't something where they're going to have all the corporate donors that are going to come out there and support it. So it's a different type of disaster. We need to really open the eyes of the philanthropy departments and the corporations out there. There should be some VTO. There should be some, volunteer time off from some of the larger corporations that say they're truly embedded in the community and they care. Your actions speak louder than your words.
Yeah, their own interests is their own interests. And better us than them. I don't know.
Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah, you too. What was your name again?
Keith.
Keith. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
You don't have a business card, do you?
No, it's
okay. I could go on.
Yeah, it's askasg.org.
Okay.
Andrea, why are they taking trailers? Why are they taking trailers?
So you guys, we're hearing it live, unfolding in front of us. This is so much to take in.
It sure is. Hey, I gotta run in a minute. If you don't mind, I just want to share one thing. I love seeing people do something about it in a positive way. Chris, Emilio, you, Michelle. But keep this in mind. Those of us who can, those of us who have the ability, the health, the opportunities to do better in life, do it. That's what the hounds of business is. Yes, we want to do business. Yes, we want to do things, help our own families. But it goes much deeper than that. Every single week I talk about this. So if you're out there and you're saying, wow, don't this suck? I wish I could do more. Hey, if you have the opportunity in this capitalist society, dadgummit, you do. You absolutely have the power to change. We know what to do. We just don't want to do it. That's that's the case for me most of the time. And whatever's stopping us, whatever, mental blocks or opportunities or resources, we need to get together and do it. Because here's the deal. I do. I want to help people. I want to blow my business up and I want to make a ton of money, way the hell more money than I can make. Because the next time we see things like this, we could do something about it. If thousands of heart centered, high level professionals had the time, money, and resources to do what we want, when we want, for as long as we want, with whomever we want, we can make some serious dents in shit that matters, like homelessness, like food insecurity, justice. So thank you guys for doing that. That's really the motivation behind what I do, is to be able to spend my days doing things like this, to shine spotlights and scale that up. So this is how it starts. Chris, Emilio, Michelle, anything we could do. This was last notice, but short notice for me. But absolutely, we're people. People. I mean, any of us could be. Don't fool yourself and think it can't happen to you. It can absolutely happen to you, and therefore we should care about others. In my opinion. Again, appreciate you guys for bringing this to the forefront. We'll do all we can do. But yeah, it's going to be from the people. It's not going to be from the top down. It's going to be from the bottom up. So good job, man. Support you 100% doing the right thing in a positive light. That's all I got to say. But
obviously, Mike, you know about me and don't raise statistics, but obviously being a new pup in the hounds of business, you now see one of my biggest projects to be taken on. So.
Hey, Mike. Mike, can you hear me? Yeah, I said I understand that you have to leave. It was a last minute thing. Can you please elaborate and say for the record who you are so they can know that we're not just anybody. We are actually very, very serious people, entrepreneurs that have clout, but just we are trying to help the people that need help. Can you please elaborate that, please? Thank you.
yeah, sure. Thank you for that. I forgot to even do that because I was just like, wow, look at this. Ain't this shocking? But yeah, I'm the proud and humble leader, Mike Asherbrander of the Hounds of Business Community. And really, it's just a bunch of heart-centered, high-level professionals. I'll get it out through all stages of life and walks of life, man. So, some of us are blowing up our second million and some of us are just starting, and folks are going through life and people coming out of incarceration. It doesn't matter where you start. It matters where the hell you want to go. So that's what we are. We got lots of folks doing great things. And that's what motivates us to do business, man. So we can give back and do more for good things and help other people. And that's what the pound stands for. So I'm honored to have you guys. It's not all about the business. When we're doing better as people and we're pushed up and we have resources and we have more than hope, we have shit to do that works. It's amazing. And not everybody's going to want help. I've been there. Not everybody's going to want it. There are going to be a large number of handouts, people that are going to need that for a long time. But make no mistake, in my experience in nonprofit, there's a whole lot of people out there who want to be independent. They want to go out there and live their own life. And that's where it starts. We'll help the ones that need it. We'll push up the ones who want that. And hey, we'll put our heads together and see what we can do. But hey, on the local level, what you guys are doing right now, that's most and most. People talk, you're out there doing, and that's what we're all about, Emilio. So the Hounds of Business, man, hey, the more money we can make, the more positive impact we can make. That's the whole point. The more money we get by helping others in our business, the more we can go do more about it. I would love to just buy food for the pantry because I got way more money than I need. That's what I can do about it. And on a community level, just put it out there. Technology's everywhere. Just do like Chris is doing, man. Go out there and say, hey, who's with me?
My name's
Somebody's
Keith.
gonna be with me. Keith, I'm sorry. I can't hear nothing. Keith.
Yeah.
Great
It's
meeting you,
Keith,
brother.
yes. Keith.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you joining us today.
Absolutely, man. Keep it
Yes,
up
we
and
do.
love to connect.
Hey, take care, Mike.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming by.
I just sent you the message, Mike, for you and Keith. Absolutely. And yeah. So Keith, what are you seeing now? Oh, you froze up somebody.
Not. Yeah, I did. You froze up. I can't hear you, bro.
Yeah. He'll he glitched. He'll get unfroze here in a moment, I'm sure.
Hmm.
So like sometimes he has to drop out to come back in. But especially when we was trying to get some of the filming of, the scene of what was going on.
Oh, they made that happen. That was on
And
purpose.
what they were
Cut it
saying,
off.
yeah, what they were saying there, Keith was actually able to speak with somebody that was there. And what she was letting us know was that, they have two lawyers. They've been working, with doing it the right way, the legal way. And she was letting Keith know, like, they're actually scheduled for a court hearing on Friday.
Hmm.
And here we are Monday, 4 days before a hearing, and the city's coming in dismantling.
And that's what I say about authority, about power. Authority doesn't mean that you're 100% right. Authority just means power because you are certified, bona fide, and put by whatever is that went to effect that brought you to that leadership role. But that doesn't mean that you're always right. What's right, you should be listening to the population, to the people, to the ones that are really hurting, to the ones that are bringing the people really into position because of the vote. Hey, Keith.
Right, here we go. Now we got you back, sir. What is
Yeah,
an
my
update? What's
my
going on?
phone got overheated. It's
I
hot
can
Hey,
out
my,
here.
imagine. It's
my
got to be so. What are the temperatures out there today?
Oh man, I
I
don't
don't
even
know.
know.
My phone just alerted me too that your phone is hot. It needs to be cooled down.
Man,
Let's see. So today's temperature. It thinks I'm at home and I'm not. Hold on. Oh, it's only 82 degrees. 82 degrees and sunny, and it's going to be 86 in a little bit. Then at 3 p.m., it's going to get up to 91, then 93.
so even just to like remove everything from the situation and to think these people have made this encampment their home. And think about the fact that they're ripping down their walls right now. These people live in walls that don't even have air conditioning or the luxuries that we often take for granted in the walls of our own
Well,
home.
You got it, Gando? Yeah, but you could get your stuff on.
well, again, they're even towing away the trailers. They're towing away the like, everything. Like, and it's just sad. It's just like the amount of people that are here, the work that was put in to make sure the people that were okay. Of course, it's not the best situation. It's not the situation that's going to be sexy for everyone to see, especially, when you involve politics with it too as well. I mean, there's so many different ways to look at this, right? And of course, we all want the the best for everyone. But if we're going to push people towards a situation that's worse than the one that they're at, how do we see that? How does that actually make sense? How is that something that we can condone as a community when, when even if our children are going to move to a place, we're going to review it to see if everything's going to be okay, right? But like, that could be our friends, that could be our family members, and that's something that I learned within disaster, that like if you're showing up, if you're getting that call at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, whenever you're getting that call, breathe for a second, okay? Because when you're getting that call, you are going to be the first line of defense for that family that's out there that has lost everything or is experiencing one of the worst days of their life. If you can reframe that from thinking about as you, like poor me, I had to go wake up. If you can reframe it in your mind that say, I have the opportunity to help them get the help that they need. And if you can't find anyone else to go out there, if you're going out yourself, you're going to be the one that's able to light their candle, give them that hope that they need, to know that everything is going to be okay, to know that there's an organization that's by their side. That's what we need to do as a community. We need to be able to help other people see the light, to see the power that they have within, but also to see the power of the community that is going to band together to support them. Instead of seeing something like we're seeing right now, where like what? There's a handful of organizations, a handful of tents. Like seriously, like how much does a tent cost? How much is it like for the people to actually have them come here? The thing is, which I'm not going to mention which ones, but there were organizations that were contacted by the lady that we had interviewed first, that was working, that was in charge of this at camp itself, that they reached out to them and it fell upon deaf ears. They did not hear anything back. There were so many different community organizations that were reached out to that just let the community down. And again, this isn't about name calling, and that's where it usually goes to at this point, right? People are
It
always trying
does.
to
It does.
place the
No,
blame on
it
somebody.
does. And I can relate to that. Just it's not being in a homeless encampment being dismantled, but in the sense of I fully can resonate and understand what it feels like to reach out to community organizations and not saying names, but to be deflected, to be ignored, to have them look the other way. And it's heartbreaking. And it's such an injustice when you actually look behind the scenes at how much government funding are they getting to help with these situations.
I agree, and it's just it's enough is enough. Like I'm so tired, and I speak about this enough because I got to the point where I was just so frustrated attending large meetings with other organizations and seeing about how much they pat themselves on the back and about how great they are and all the work that they're doing and all the announcements and all this media, this finely scripted media by people that are trained media associates or officers or agents or whoever that are able to tell this finely scripted story. I want us, like we have right now, we have flipped the script. This is flipping the script. This is not a time that we can just sit back and we could let this continue to happen. Or else what's going to happen in the future? This could be anywhere in the country. What I can say is this
It
is a
is
call to
happening.
action for
It's happening in
everyone.
the whole world.
Yep. But this is a call to action. Just like I had said
It is.
initially, you don't have to do everything, but you need to do something.
And we've listed the websites. You gave the two websites, volunteer one, and look, I can't even say them. Like I don't remember, but I put them in the comments.
Yeah,
Like
there's
there's
you can
ways to
search.
get
Yep,
involved.
search for volunteer match, search for idealist.org. I mean, check out
They're
those
in
two
the
different
comment section.
websites. And the other thing is, if you're listening to this right now and you need support yourself, you can go to findhelp.org. Again, findhelp.org, or contact 211. Again, those are two different agencies or organizations that are out there, but true great resources that you're going to be able to find, local resources in your area to help you out. It is so essential. Get to know the community agencies before you're actually going to need them. Again, you don't want to just show up when all your cards are down and you have nothing. You want to be able to utilize them and to find out what resources are available to you, so maybe you don't have to spend as much money on food. Maybe you can get some support for your eating, for your family, for your health, for your housing. Maybe you could get some help with your utilities. There's so many ways that you can get support within a community. So it's time that you took the time it's time that you took the time to be accountable and to really pour back into your cup prior to actually needing this type of support.
I agree. It's just so disheartening right now to watch it and to know. And then again, it's like Mike was saying, like this is the awareness. And like you said, this is us flipping the script. We had no idea we was going live right now. You had no idea you was going to pull up onto this scene, but to take the moment out immediately in our day. Like we was in the middle of talking other business projects, but that didn't matter at that point because right now this is real life happening in this moment. And what can we do?
Correct. What can we do? And this is the time when you want to sit back and you want to reflect. You want to think about your family. Look at the pictures that you may have in your office, in your home, in your wallet, on your phone. I don't even know if people actually have wallet pictures anymore, man. I haven't had a wallet picture in like forever. Okay, we should bring back wallet pictures. There should be like a whole
I'm gonna
campaign for
send
that.
you one.
Uh-oh. So what we need to do right now really is to Think about our family, our friends, and ourselves to see how this could potentially become us one day. With all the layoffs that occur throughout the country, we could wind up running out of the funds that we need to live a sustainable lifestyle that we're going to be able to keep us in our home. So what if it's that? What if that's us? What if we have found a family? What if we had found a family in a community that's in an encampment? Again, there are solutions that are out there within most of the agencies or organizations throughout the country, or within the counties or the cities. They have solutions, right? But do they have enough beds? Do they have enough space for you to lay your head? And most likely not. And is it going to be a safe place? Well, that's debatable, right? It may be safe for some, that they may believe that it's safer than being on the streets, but how safe could it really be, right? We have to
And one
just
thing I want to touch on, and I don't watch replays, and I have to watch this replay because I need to get this little piece of information. The very first person you was interviewing, she said something, and it's really just been sticking in my mind and making me know I need to watch this replay. She said they've been able to prove with private funding and donations and stuff that they're able to come in and do what's needed to be done without taking away from the government funding and resources. And for me, and this is what I want to go make sure, because I don't want to quote wrong or something, but she said there was something that they had done that was just several thousands of dollars, but the government and the organizations were placing a $3 million price on it. And that is the discrepancy that I unfortunately am very in tune and understanding of when it comes to these community organizations and what they give versus what they receive. And that discretion is such a true, insight on funding and the financial aspect. But then how does it not become an eye-opening situation to say we can privately organize, get $10,000 and go and do this and make this type of ripple fix, but you're telling us that we need millions of dollars with this organization to accomplish the same result? It don't make sense.
No, I agree. And she was talking about the waste management, about the cleanup of the actual encampment itself. So it was about the millions of dollars. She said $3,995, I remember. So it's she's like, that's what she was able to get. She's like, fine, clean it up, do it, opposed to someone spending millions. So again, this isn't here to
there's all these people that can help do it. There are people willing to help do it for that money to not be spent. And it's they're not utilizing that.
Yeah, it's a tough conversation, and it's way above our pay grade. So we don't know. We don't know exactly what's happening behind the scenes. We can only speculate. So there's a lot of variables in terms of how you could do stuff. There's always a cheap way to do it, and then there's the right way, and then there's so many different ways that it could actually happen, right? So who knows? But again, we're just thankful that we were able to have these conversations. I'm going to go back out there. I'm just having the phone cool down a little bit, giving it some AC. So
yeah, definitely you need to and you're out there in the heat yourself. Is there I don't even know. Are there people there giving them some water to drink while this is happening?
They have a cooler, but I think a lot of there's people that are along the side that are past that area, that some of them could be community members that are still getting interviewed. There's multiple, like Univision, Fox, there's all different local stations that are here too. So it's just everyone's just interviewing and having these important conversations right now. Again, this isn't the time that we're going to sit back and go to war and point fingers. This is about us coming together, taking a deep breath, just breathing and figuring out how could we do better in the future. This is the past at this point. This already occurred. Yeah. But how do we actually come together, and how do the organizations that stipulate that they're saying they're standing up for their community, they're doing all this stuff to help and support people that are dealing with housing issues and all the other vulnerable issues that they're having, and you don't see them present here when this is something that, again, most of these larger organizations are in Sacramento, right? So I mean, like that's where it's at. They have any of the major organizations that have an office in Sacramento. So I'm just curious why we do not see them present. And okay, maybe there wasn't great communication, or maybe they weren't offered space, because you don't just say you're going to go show up, to any of this stuff. Like if there's a disaster, any type of operation, you're invited to. There's a mission task that goes in that's saying we are requesting so and so today to show up. Then they show up. You don't self-deploy, right? So what we're doing out there right now is we're representing to tell the story, but we're not showing up with being uninvited and just, deploying ourselves. That's something you
Right.
shouldn't do, because that could be something that could really hurt other people and could cause a lot of other chaos at a situation where the law enforcement and other people, they're trying to control it, and it could make it worse. You don't want to cause harm, but you want to be able to understand more about the story, because if you don't really have your ears to the ground, you're not really listening to see what's happening, you're not going to be able to come up with these solutions. You're going to be looking at it from a whole different lens than a lens of like reality. And we need to show up for our community members and not just say we're doing it. Many people, like Mike had said, many people just sit back and talk, and that's why I get so frustrated like sitting in some meetings, because if someone's always sitting in a meeting, what are you doing? You're not doing anything. You're literally not doing anything. So
Okay.
like if you're offline, if we can't find you, that means you're working. If organizations are constantly meeting about doing something, about doing something differently, they're not doing anything either. So I mean, if you really want to see which organizations are working, you should ask their employees how many meetings they go to a day, right? So if they're out there actually like living and breathing the mission, being out there in the community and helping and lending a hand, that's a lot different than just sitting in meetings after meetings after meetings. Let's do
For
this.
sure.
It's
One
time for
thing
action.
One thing that I like though, like by doing this very sporadic live and by seeing what we're seeing and everything though, it's like I told Mike, just you was getting set up there. That poverty project initiative, that I'm working on, and you and CJ and now Mike, this I think was a very amazing opportunity for me to get some insights into an area that I'm not that educated. I don't understand that well, but to find a way to ensure there's a specific area within this initiative that this is the focus. Like you know about the homeless, you understand that, in country, it's not just our country, in cities and communities across the world, there's a level of enforcement that go in and dismantle them. And, so I need to be better at my understanding of it. And I want to understand that I can know I'm able to create that foundation to ensure like what you're talking about. When we need to deploy, what are we deploying with? What is going to cause the most success? What is the most needed resources? Because there's so much that I think that we do have a lot of people with the great hearts and the right intentions that want to help, and we just simply don't know where our place is to help, if that makes sense.
I agree, and the most important thing is that we focus on, like right now, the focus is on things that you understand. We cannot, no one is going to be a subject matter expert on all of United States of America, but focusing on your local area and understanding how you could support it, because every single community is different.
Yes. Yes, that's true.
We can only we could show up to a point, right? So we can, it's hard. We don't want to show up and act as if we can really make a difference and help if it's really outside of our it's outside of our purview. Like that's not. I'm looking to find my charger pack. Of course, I'll find it after my phone dies. Well, we may be cutting this all short, but
This is so disheartening just to know what so many individuals and families are experiencing right now. You know, and it's literally in a situation that is out of their control. And for myself in my endeavors, you know, like, have I been homeless before? Absolutely. I have slept in my car at a rest area. I understand it. Maybe not to the degree of needing to set up an encampment the way that was, but it's just like there's so many people that just don't know when it's going to happen. And then when you see it happening, it's like, how can I fix this? How can I help make it a better situation? He's muted, y'all. His phone might be dying. And that heat, his phone overheating, it's not going to help the battery life at all. So for anybody just tuning in, Keith is in Sacramento, California, at Camp Resolution that is currently being dismantled by the local law enforcement and fire departments. They're in there with tow trucks. They're pulling out people's vehicles that they're living in. They're ripping down the walls of people's homes, and where it might not be a home that many are accustomed to or believe, you know, to be a home. These are homes for the people that reside there. We heard earlier there's 50 to 60 of them that are disabled. They're being told to leave where they're at and sent to somewhere that is not accommodating to have a generator for their oxygen tank, or
Yeah.
they're being sent places that can't accommodate their needs. They have animals that they're being separated from. So right now, that is where we're at. He is live in Sacramento, California. It is at Camp Resolution. And we did not know this was happening, just for the record. Like, this was a driving by, seen it, and had to stop. We have to make awareness around this situation.
I'm hoping that I have my. It's charging right. It is on. Let me see. Hold on. Are you on? I have my solar. I have a solar powered charger that's maybe working. It's lit up, but I don't see it doing anything yet. So if it dies, it dies. We may connect again, but
We've been going 90 minutes now, and I mean, we've got some great footage. We have got some, you did some amazing interviews. I am thankful for the ones that were willing to talk to you, because they gave us some great insight onto the reality of what's happening.
yeah, of course. I'm fortunate that we were able to be here today, and you know, we gotta be thankful. Okay, so I mean, people always say have that attitude of gratitude, but it's situations like this that should really provide you with some understanding about your worst day. You could be having the worst day that you feel that you're having, like out of the whole entire world that's happening to you. But is it really the worst day? Is it really so bad? Is it so bad that you weren't able to buy something that you wanted, or travel somewhere, or get off of work, or whatever it may be? It helps you put things into perspective. And that's what happens when you actually serve other people, when you volunteer, when you work for humanitarian organizations. Again, you need to find the one that's the right fit for you. Not every single volunteer organization will be the right fit, but you need to take the initiative to give back, to find yourself. And you find yourself by losing yourself in service to others. You're able to fill your cup up, you're able to put your oxygen mask on, and then just make a difference. And it could just be that one conversation that you have that could help someone. You never know who you're talking to. The gentleman that we were speaking to before, he was homeless. I think he said he was homeless in his past, and you know, he's seen the situation, how it's occurred, and you know, there's good people out there like that want to help. They want to show up for the community. They're going to show up and serve. They're going to do whatever they can. And let's try to be like that. Let's try to just want to show up. And not all of us can do so because we're going directly over to our job. We have other responsibilities. Of course, I understand that. But we can make time, just like we make time to go scroll on the internet and do all the other stuff we do. That's probably like, we're not really helping people. But let's give back. Let's make a difference. We can do it, and we can do it together.
It is so possible. It is. Now, do you think, so obviously I'm not educated. I don't know this process. Is this something that basically by end of business day, that street is going to be empty and everybody's dispersed? Or is it a process that takes several days? Is this going to be several days of people being subjected to this trauma? Like,
No,
how
they'll
does
be
this work?
they'll be removed. Everyone should have been removed by now. I'm sure they've already got in there. They had all their law enforcement would go in there first. They would do the sweep, and then after that, then it's the removal of the items to a secondary location. I overheard a conversation that they would have to sign something, but they would be able to pick up their whatever item was towed at no charge. I don't know if that's I can't don't really hold me to it, but that's what I overheard, and it could have been something, right? Who knows what it is for everything, or it could have been just one person's circumstance. But
Right.
again, this thing,
Because like when we seen that van being towed out of there, that was someone's home.
yeah, this doesn't seem like it's holding a charge. Yeah, let me see if I can flip the camera around quick.
I'm gonna put you on a solo view so we can get, a good visual of it before your camera dies.
Oh, look, the Dalmatian. When the grid comes out, I'm straight up at it. I don't care. Who do I have?
So tragic.
This phone, I don't think the battery pack's not charging properly.
No, you're good. You're on a solo view. We're just letting everybody see what you're seeing. This is a live view from Sacramento, California, Camp Resolution. We have Keith Kupperman. He's the founder of the Adaptive Strategies Group, and he is live on scene just trying to bring awareness to the situation. And what would you say the length of that street is that was the encampment? Like, how
I,
is
I
it
couldn't
a
even.
football field, maybe?
More
Like,
than that, much more than that.
okay, I'm just trying to give, viewers a visual concept, so obviously bigger than the length of a football field is, the area in which they're targeting right now.
Yeah, this will probably be the last. I don't know if it's getting back any. This is crazy. This thing's not charging. They've done a.
Little Barbie, over Barbie, come. Barbie, come. Now.
Well, Michelle, I think this is going to be, I'm going to wind up going back. This will be probably like the final shot.
And this is, I feel so sad. Look at the pretty poppers. Oh.
You know,
Was you able to get, I wrote down the website. I know she said there was a Venmo and possibly a Cash App.
I
I'll
have
make
her phone
sure that
number.
we get, okay, I'm gonna make sure that we get, their website listed out, and, we'll collab once we're off, we're able to get onto another call with each other, and we're gonna make sure that we put out, a post. Keith's phone probably just died. So we will be getting together on a call as soon as he is able to get some more battery. So I do know that the original interview that he was able to get with her, the organization is the Sacramento Homeless Union.org. We do have the website. They do have a Venmo, I believe. They're currently assisting to work with getting location, and just trying to make sure that the people that are being affected by this tragedy are being took care of the best possible way. So if you've tuned in, if you're just understanding what's going on, I just want to say thank you. I want to tell Keith thank you for being the one on site, getting us the footage, helping us be able to make this an awareness for everybody. We're going to be signing out here. Just know that once we can get regrounded, we can get into a meeting, collaborate with some, brainstorming. Expect to see us live later tonight or tomorrow, just with the update, with some projections, with some insight. And again, Sacramento Homeless Union.org. I will make sure that link gets put into the comment section as well. And if there's anything as far as questions or wanting to know where to go to reach out for assistance, or how to volunteer, what can be done, you can reach out to Keith at any point in time in his DMs. You could get in my DMs. We are always going to be here and make ourselves available when it's possible. I'm so sorry for Kodiak, but I appreciate everybody tuning in, and just give us a couple hours to regroup. And Cody, give us a couple hours to regroup, and we will come on with an update as soon as we possibly can. So from I Can Flip the Script, and from Adaptive Strategies Group, and Don't Raise Statistics, Mike with Hounds of Business, Dr. Leyland with Leveling Up Academy, with everybody here that truly contributes, and we're thankful, and we can't wait to continue collaborating.